Okay, so I've checked my spacing and it looks good enough for me. I've spaced it. There's a 40 pixel distance between them. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create this button here, more options button, and then the thing that will follow after that will be the color button and then the numbers. So to create the more options button, instead of designing it or drawing it from scratch, I'll just duplicate what I have. Instead of creating it from scratch, I'll just duplicate the apply now button and then modify it a bit to suit my more questions button. So let me make the distance. Yeah, 60 seems good enough. 60 seems okay. So I double click. Since it's a group, I have to double click in order to select only the rectangular shape. So I double click and I select just the rectangular shape, and then I stretch it a bit, as you can see here. Then I change, let me reduce this text size a bit to 20. So I change it from apply now to more questions. Good. Okay, so if you notice in the button, there's a circular thing with an icon, a forward icon inside it. So I'm going to create my circular thing or spherical shape. So I go to the shape tools, click on the down arrow, and then select my ellipse. I want to draw a correct circle. So to do that, I press and hold shift, and then I create my circle. Good. This looks good enough. So I'm just going to change the color from this to white. Yeah, it works for me. Then once again, I go back to Iconify to find an icon that matches that. So let me just say forward. Search for forward. This matches that. So I drag this here into my working space once again. I close this and then move this into my shape I created earlier. Okay, let me make it a bit bigger. 26 seems good enough. Okay, so I group the shape with my circular tool. And then I group this. Let me ungroup the button first so that I can group all of them together and they become one. Command J on my keyboard. Okay, great. So the next thing I'm going to do, but if you notice here, you realize there's a shadow around the button, right? So I'm going to create a shadow. With my button selected, I just click on effects here, and then you see it gives me a shadow, a subtle shadow. So I click on the effect settings, and then let me make the blur 20, and then this 30, the Y4. Okay, let's make it 30. Let me make the blur 30, see how it looks. Okay, so this looks good enough. This looks good enough. To preview, you can just click on the play button up here. It loads and gives you a preview of the design. Great. So this is how my design looks. It's in progress. This is how it looks. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce this text color a bit, and then reduce the sizes, the icon sizes as well. I said the icon, the menu item options. There are sizes as well. So I reduce it to 20. Reduce this to 20 as well. And change the font weight from semi-bold to medium, and then reduce the intensity a bit. So when I look here, yeah, it looks a bit better now, but the spacing between the menu items are a bit too much. So I have to reduce the space a bit. To do that, let me reduce it to 50. See how it looks. Move it a bit here, closer to the button. Check my spacing between them. Let me see how it looks. This doesn't look bad. Let me bring this text up a bit. So 20 seems to look okay. Yeah, 20 is good enough. Let's move the button up a bit. So let's see how it looks. 50. Yes, looks good. Looks good. So I just have to bring this up a bit. Maybe reduce this from 200 to 250 to 200. 250 to 200. See how it looks. Let me reduce the width a bit to 540. Okay, so this looks good. This looks good. I think I'll still have to reduce the spaces between over here. Good. I love what I'm seeing. Okay, let's reduce just a bit. And center the text inside it. Okay. This looks good enough. This looks good. This looks good. Okay, so moving on, the next thing we are going to do is we are going to be designing this button, this call button. Once again, we select our ellipse tool and then create a circle. Sorry. Once again, we select our ellipse tool and create a circle. Once again, we select our ellipse tool by pressing O on the keyboard and then create a circle. A circle of the same height too. Let me make this 60. Yeah. Good. Change it to white. Change the color of the circle to white and then create the shadow. Make the shadow 30. Let's make it 20. Let's see how it looks in the preview. Let's reduce our color intensity a bit. Okay, let's see how it looks. Okay, let's make it 15. Okay, so this looks good enough. So the next thing we are going to do is we are going to look for the phone icon from Iconify once again. So I just pull it up and then search for phone. Okay, I'm good with this, so I just drag it onto my artboard. And then I center it. Then I group it. Okay, so Hey, I have my shape here. I think I have to reduce the size a bit because it looks a bit too big here. So I'll just reduce it a bit. 25. I think 25 should be good enough. So I reduce it and I center it in my circle once again. When I finish, I group it. Okay, so it looks good enough.